Hi, this is Dennis Washington from Cross Digital and CrossDig.com with your weekly pep talk, Being Useful. I had a chance this week to go and speak to some college students at the University of Alabama over in Tuscaloosa. It was a writing class, a public relations writing class, and we talked about a couple of things, in particular website design, social media concepts, and so forth. And one of the things we talked about was this concept of being useful. And there's a variety of people that you need to be useful to. If you're building a website, your website needs to be useful to potential customers as well as current customers, and maybe even to your employees as well. If you're doing social media, the social media strategy needs to be useful to the people you're trying to reach. If it's not, they won't engage with you. So there's a variety of reasons that you need to be useful, but it's easy to say, but putting that into practice and really understanding that and grasping that concept can sometimes be difficult. And I put it like this, for example, with a website. As you've heard me maybe talk about before, is your website like a billboard or a library? When I look at your website, is it static like a billboard? Same thing every time when I come there, nothing's changed. Or when I come back, has it got a new book? Has it got something else? Read an article the other day that kind of puts this in a different twist. Is your website more like a vending machine or a restaurant? When you come up there, is there a certain number of choices in the vending machine and you put your money in and you get something out? Or does the menu sometimes change at the restaurant and maybe even the chef cooks to order what you want? And you can customize your menu to meet your needs. How are you useful to your customers, your potential customers? Does your website look more like a vending machine or a restaurant? Does your customer service look more like a vending machine or a restaurant? Do you have this just static response that you give everybody? Or do you customize your responses? Do you treat them like a person and meet their individual needs that may be unique, that you may never encounter again, may have never encountered before? The concept of being useful is so important. If you think about from a biblical perspective, Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for those who are called according to his purpose." This concept of being useful is not something that we just kind of throw out there lightly. It is important. It is something that you need to consider when you are putting your business plan together, because ultimately, if you solve people's problems, if you approach this as this can help people, this maybe even can help you, what you're coming up with. But if it helps other people, especially potential customers, the more you can solve the problems in their life, the more useful you will be to them, and the more likely they will reward you with their business. And that's really what we're looking for here, is ultimately a strategy, a long-term growth strategy. It's not a short-term success strategy. It can be. And if it does, that's great. But we're talking about building long-term relationships, long-term growth strategy. And it all starts with being useful and solving people's problems. The more useful you are to be, the more they will want you around. So take that into consideration as you head out today. Be useful. And be useful with your business, with your website, with your digital strategy, with everything you do. And you will see the difference. I'm Dennis Washington with Cross Digital and CrossDig.com. Being useful.